So I want about 5 pieces out of this. 5 seems to work great on these trays. So I just cut it. That's about 1. Put it over there. Flour. There's another one. Okay.
George, if somebody doesn't have this large scraper, can you do that with a knife?
You could, but it's kind of sloppy, so it's a little bit tricky to do it. So what I'm doing now is just forming these into little balls. You can see how sticky the dough is, and in fact I'm just going to rub some of that dough off with some flour, add some flour to it. So again, I'll put some more flour here. A little bit on the small side, so I'm going to grab a pinch of dough there. And I would recommend that probably I would add an extra amount of flour to this when you're doing this, just because this is a little on the wet side. It's going to make great bread, but if you're not used to handling really wet doughs, and I've handled some very, very sloppy doughs in my day, it's not simple. Some light here. So all I'm doing is just, more, it's kind of like a way to stretch and fold it. I'm folding the dough over onto itself, creating some strength there. So you can see each time I kind of stretch it a little bit, fold it over, and the dough immediately comes together, gets a nice even shape like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is clean off my hands again. Get some better light here. I'm going to keep as much in the pan as I can. Then I think in the recipe I say use a good quality margarine. Everybody in my house seems to like, what is this, Earth Balance. So I'm just going to take some of that, spread it on the pan, and I think that with the margarine it works better than like regular oil. You could use like corn oil, olive oil, something like that, but because it would flow so much, and I think it would tend to flow right off the pan. You'll see what I'm actually going to do now is take some oats and sprinkle the oats on. And the oats will actually stick to the margarine. And what my purpose is here is when I drop the loaves of bread on there, then they're going to use the oats to form another barrier of separation from the pan and allow us to get the bread off much more easily afterwards. That over there. Put my oats on here. This one's nice because it has sides on it, so I can shake it around. Okay, so I really need a bigger table to work on, but I'm going to do this here. That one, put it over there. That one as well. So now I'm going to pat them out. Because remember, we're making flatbread here. This isn't about making a nice loaf. I don't want this to do anything other than just be flat. But it's got a nice bun shape. So pick it up and right there. So I got a lot of flour on this one because again this is very sticky. And switch pans. there. The nice thing is because it's flatbread, it's going to be flat. You don't really have to worry about the exact shape. As long as you start out with a circle or a round ball, it's going to make itself very easily into a circle. Okay. The one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to again take a dough scraper here. This is from my friends at Bob Red's Mill. And I'm just going to cut into it like this. One that gives me a decoration. But on the other hand too, each one of these will be a section of bread. They'll be real easy to break off. I'm finding that my kids really like them for taking to school and making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with, or we found this vegetarian, vegan actually, faux chicken salad, and normally I would say I never like eating food that's supposed to be something that isn't. Like if I'm going to eat chicken salad, I would eat chicken salad, but this is made with a protein, with a soy protein, and I have to say it is really good, especially with fresh arugula from our garden out back, and some mustard and some chili peppers, and on this whole wheat bread is delicious. So that's done. And again, just going to do the same thing. Just cut into them real lightly, creating sections. You could probably write to Bob's Red Mill and they'll send you a scraper. They love having their name in your kitchen. Bob's Red Mill is a great source for organic or natural ingredients, come in pre-packaged amounts if you can't find bulk, and they're probably the company out there with more integrity than in the grain trade than anybody else. There we go. That's it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let this sit for, let me stop my stopwatch, start it over again, for about 40 minutes. I've got my oven already preheating. I'm going to move this over to the oven because it's a nice warm spot. The warmth from the oven will rise up, it'll warm up the pans, it'll get these guys going, and we'll put them in the oven in about 35 minutes and bake them. Before we put them in the oven, I'm going to brush them with water, just because I've got a lot of dryness on there, with make them shine a little bit, and that's about it. This is really a very, very simple procedure. We've got an empty bowl that I've got to clean out, but you know, I've kept my workspace pretty clean, and it'll be real quick to clean up afterwards. So that's it. We're put these guys aside, let them rise, and then we'll bake bread. Okay, we are ready to put the flatbreads, which are still very flat, into the oven. I'm going to brush them with a little bit of water. That'll help them get a little bit more color in the oven. It's not going to be like having a steam injected oven, which would be nice, but impossible. But just brush off a little bit of the excess flour that was on there. You can see they're starting to open up. I don't know why this recipe rose so quickly today. It's not like it's warm in the house or anything like that, but it did, and it's going to do what it does. So it's ready to go in the oven now. We're going to bake it at, start at 500 degrees. I'm going to bake it 12 minutes at 500 degrees, then another 13 minutes at 350 degrees, and it'll be done. And that'll be it. And then we'll enjoy it. Okay, all in a day's work. We've got our flatbread out. The pan's hot. They just came out of the oven. They'll separate here. You can see bottom's nicely baked. Got a nice brown foot to it. The oats provide some nice texture. And so we'll let them cool, and then we can section them real quickly and eat them. Like I said, my kids really like this, or making P&J or filling them with something, but it's a traditional flatbread. That's simple and good tasting, we hope. We hope that I assume, and I know that the Biga flavor will come through real strongly, and we did a real good job today. This is bread to be proud of, and I'm happy when I'm baking bread. Thanks.